Oh, yes. It's Monday night, and we got a great matchup. The Rams versus the 49ers in Santa Clara, and it's looking like a great day for some football. And what better way to get ready for some Monday Night Football than with us for Monday Night Tailgate. Welcome to Monday Tailgate presented by Snickers. I'm your host, Scooby Migueza, with Aaron Dolan and Daniel Dopp. We will have my boys, Luis Miguel Echegaray. Real soon, I said his name right, and he's celebrating on the corner over there. That's the type of show we're about to have today. There he is. How you doing, LME?
What's up, baby? You said you're an adopted Peruvian.
There we go. We're already on tip with the energy. All right, so every week I say it was a wild week of football, and this week continued to prove that. Daniel, we had 9 games finish with just a 1-score difference. I mean, what did you think about this week as we head into the final game of it?
I'll tell you what, it was a lot more fun from a fantasy perspective than previous weeks. I felt like there were more points scored, there were closer games. Most of the games I was really into, but I do want to say for this final game, I'll save it before we get into this game.
All right,
Anything else that you have?
Aaron, how are you feeling? Because you seem to be dressed for the occasion of the day. It is October 3rd, people, which means... You didn't know? You didn't know?
How do you not know?
Okay. It is Mean Girls Day, or Monday Night Football. But besides you dressing for the occasion, how was this week of football for you?
From a betting perspective, it was terrible. I'm going to say it how it is. It was terrible this week. I thought we had the analytics to get some winners, and you think teams are going to play a certain way because you've seen it through the first 3 weeks. It doesn't happen sometimes. So we're back on the horse trying to win some more money throughout the week.
Oh,
I like it.
Lord.
I like it.
Through the first 4 weeks, we've had 23 games decided by 3 points or less. That's the most through week 4 in NFL history.
Crazy.
And we have 6 double-digit fourth-quarter comebacks. That's tied for the third most in NFL history. So when you talk about the crazy and the significance, 4 weeks in, it's already getting wild, which leads us to our next segment because this just represents things going wild, right? We got our Monday memes, our best way to recap everything that happened on Sunday, and LME is going to help us as we navigate through these memes. So let's get started with our first one because it came from the game of the day, the Buffalo Bills versus the Baltimore Ravens, and Lamar Jackson, he goes for it on 4th down. Gets picked off. They gave up a 17-point lead, and the Bills came back from the dead like our favorite WWE wrestler, The Undertaker. Oh, you thought I was done? No, we back.
I love this, Scooby. You know why? Because they know their audience. There is no Bills fan in the world that doesn't also love The Undertaker. That's why I love this as well. And by the way, Josh Allen, he basically is this person. 8 fourth-quarter comebacks, 11 game-winning drives. I mean, this team is good. This team is impressive. This team is The Undertaker, baby.
Oh, and you talk about going through tables like they do in wrestling. This is a perfect fan base for going through tables as Bills Mafia. But Aaron, the big question coming out of this game is, should the Ravens have gone for it on 4th down with a chance to take the lead? What are your thoughts?
I think they ultimately made the right decision because obviously the Bills were going to get the ball back. That could have ended in a tie, but obviously they thought it was going to happen. They throws a pick. You're not thinking Lamar Jackson is going to end up doing that. And then in terms of that meme, I just got to talk about it. That's the most popular betting meme. I see that all the time. Any team that comes back in the 3rd quarter, any team that comes back in the 4th quarter, that is the most popular betting meme of all time. It has to be.
I'm sure.
Daniel, this is their second 17-plus point lead that they've given up this year.
That's brutal.
The Ravens just don't know how to win. What is going on, and how do you feel about them?
Well, as a Lions fan, I've watched a lot of teams not know how to win. And trust me, Ravens fans, you don't like feeling like this. I think you got to take the points when you have them, right? You have Justin Tucker. It's not even a long field goal, but you make sure that you get the points while you can. You allow your defense to stop Josh Allen. By the way, I'm not convinced that Josh Allen doesn't have some Undertaker DNA. Is the Undertaker actually his dad? Yeah. They're like the same size.
Every touchdown, it's like,
And they're both like 6'5", 260 pounds. Like, they're not real humans. It's really possible, guys. I'm telling you.
That is a good analogy. We got our eyes on you, okay,
That's
Josh
right.
Allen?
That's right.
But speaking of comebacks, the one that Josh Allen was able to do, The Jets pulled off a comeback. Yes, Jets came back against the Steelers. They scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. And if y'all remember, Mike Tomlin got the entire locker room some black Air Forces. Well, the Jets Twitter had an answer to that. LME,
this is
what
so
do you
good.
think about this savageness that Jets Twitter just dropped?
Scooby, if we were giving Academy Awards right now, the Jets social media team deserves one straight away. This is genius on so many levels. Can I just say one thing, by the way? According to some analytics data, this was like the biggest engagement tweet from an NFL perspective. Woo. The Jets got 70,000 impressions because of this. And by the way, Nike pushed it to 20,000 in brand awareness. This is how powerful this tweet was. Listen, I know Aaron's going to hate this. I'm a New York Giants fan. New York is just loving it. We're loving New York right now. And I'm happy for the Jets. I think this is a genius tweet.
Man, let me tell you something. If more people are out there with black Air Forces, I'm not going outside at all.
How good is this
that
tweet,
is
though?
not a good sign.
Nobody's as petty as social media managers.
Oh, yeah,
they
seriously.
are the pettiest people you will ever meet.
They always got something to say.
Always got something.
But we have news that Kenny Pickett is now going to be the Steelers' starting quarterback. That came out right before we came on air. But now we're moving on to a division that I know, Aaron, you are a big fan of. They are now the best division in football with the best record at 11-5. And no, I'm not talking about the AFC West.
It's the Cowboys. Right now, they won another game with Cooper Rush under center.
Wait, how many is that?
Boys.
That's 4 straight.
4 straight games?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
4-0 as a
for the
starter.
Cowboys.
In the NFC
4-0.
East, 11-5 in the division.
Yeah.
I mean, Cooper Rush, who would have thought?
Can I just say about Cooper Rush? You know that TikTok video where that guy's saying if you F around, you find out more?
Yes,
That's
I love that
Cooper
meme.
Rush. That's
Yes.
Cooper Rush. He's effing around and he's finding out
Until
more.
he plays the Eagles.
And you got, yeah.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
I don't know what's going to
Dak will be
happen there.
back.
But
Dak
I do
will be
tell you one thing, though. Cooper Rush, to me, is such a good example of you get that opportunity, you go for it. It's pretty amazing what he's going right now.
The Eagles are 4-0, Aaron. 4-0.
4-0.
And I was talking about your cupcake games earlier, but I won't say this was a cupcake game. But
don't laugh like
I don't need it.
that.
I don't need it.
Don't smile like that. He's ready to pull out some analytics on the defenses. Don't look at me like that.
But I will throw this out there. Aaron had +6 on the Jaguars in the game.
6.5. 6.5. I thought they keep it close.
Let's give her the half.
Listen, my team. I didn't lose though because my team won, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Like
That's
at
right.
the end of the day, I'm still happier. I could have been happier with more money. Too, but, give and take here. Give and take.
All right, well, you're happy about your team. Daniel, how do you feel about your team and their matchup?
Well, here's the deal. The Detroit Lions did a couple things really well. One of them was they scored a lot of points. What they didn't do well is they didn't allow the other team from also scoring a lot of points.
They forgot to stop
Because it was like 48-45, which is a scoregami.
Scoregami.
First scoregami of the year. In case you don't know what a scoregami is, it is the first time that this score has ever happened in the history of NFL final scores, 48-45, which is crazy.
By the way, Pete Carroll's responsible for 9 scoregamis.
I know.
By the way, one of them was the Super Bowl 49 when Seattle won against the Broncos 43-8. It's pretty impressive.
Dude,
The
Nobody was
Seahawks,
expecting
but look at what the Seahawks are doing. With Geno Smith at quarterback, 23 for 30, 320 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing. They ran the ball well. They kept up with the #1 scoring offense in the NFL. And mind you, they traded away their franchise QB. Can we compare real quick how Geno is doing versus Russell Wilson?
Why you going through that, Scooby?
Look at that. Geno Smith right now has completed 77% of his passes. That's the highest completion percentage by any QB through a team's first 4 games.
Shout out to Geno,
That's
man.
insane.
That's
Daniel,
pretty legit.
when you talk about a fantasy perspective, how happy should people be with Geno Smith's performance and DK Metcalf and me, a Tyler Lockett owner?
Yeah, it's tough. We've been talking about whether or not Geno's going to get into that streaming conversation, right? Because you never know if you can really trust him. First couple of weeks were tough, but these last 2 weeks, throwing for over 300 yards. You start to see him utilize his legs. Plus, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I was all in on Tyler Lockett this week, unfortunately, even though it was a DK Metcalf week. But you got to be thrilled, if nothing else, just from a fan perspective. it's always great to be able to watch these guys be able to go someplace and just be successful and finally have, like, you know, good vibes around them.
Yeah.
But nobody has better vibes. I just really quickly want to say, TJ Hawkinson, okay, 8 receptions on 12 targets for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns. That was the highest fantasy scoring day for anybody.
He's letting the hair down.
And I want you guys to know, TJ Hawkinson, he keeps touchdowns in his hair. That's what he does. He keeps touchdowns up there, guys.
This is Mean Girls. We got our own Regina George right here.
That's right. That's right.
The hair looks beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank you. No,
Looks
Scooby,
good.
you're beautiful. You're beautiful. Do you agree? You're beautiful. You know you're.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate
Yes.
that.
So you agree that you're beautiful?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Got it.
We all are. And
Yes.
mind you, look at his Uggs. I know you can't see, but he has a football
patch.
stitched onto
So
his
good.
Uggs with his just. Look
at this
We're
sock.
taking shoes
Oh, he
off.
took
Look
it
at
off.
that.
He took it
Look
off.
at that.
About this on
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I got the socks to go with it, man.
We're
I'm
all
ready.
for that. But speaking of the Seahawks and their game, we had another moment that has people talking. DK Metcalf, he was carted off the field. But he wasn't carted off the field because of an injury. Aaron, he was carted off the field because he said he needed to go to the bathroom and the clinch walk wouldn't have made it.
All I gotta say is none of us are as privileged to get carted off the field. Just saying.
I just wanted to add that to that. Why is there a third guy in the cart? Like,
I don't
get
know.
that one of them is driving. What's the third guy doing?
Protection? I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess.
I don't know.
It might have been a picture.
What is the
finish or
signal of how you get that?
I
need a cart.
I need a cart. Well, he's
What's the
back to
signal?
your point of being privileged. Shout out to them for understanding the situation and the emergency that he had to go through, because not just him would have been upset, but everyone on the Lions would have been upset trying to tackle DK Metcalf.
No one wants that. Nobody wants that.
He's loving every minute of that ride, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, we can't. I don't know how much more we can dive into this poopy conversation. So we're going to keep this thing moving to something else, because now it's time for our rookie spotlight presented by Snickers. And there was a certain game that I had my eye on in the afternoon that resulted in a rookie taking over. As you may be aware, Mac Jones did not play in the Patriots versus the Packers game. And because Brian Hoyer was hurt early, all of a sudden it was time for the zappening. Bailey Zapp came in, and the question is Bailey Zapp and Mac Jones the same person? Was it the zappening, or was it still the return of
This
the
is
Mac?
freaky.
Because I can't tell which one it is.
I swear,
LME.
this is an app. I swear this is like one guy just took an app and was like, make me slightly prettier, and then all of a sudden Mac Jones came out on the other side, and like that's what it is.
Bill Belichick has a type.
Oh, is that what it is?
Clearly.
Yeah.
The type.
Clearly.
Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo, these two handsome men, like, come on.
But this game was a lot closer than it should have been. The Patriots are going in overtime with their third string quarterback. And I, just to put that out there, I'm a Patriots fan. And I wasn't happy when I saw the Patriots on 4th and 5 on the 46-yard line decide to punt the ball. I will go to you, LME. What were your thoughts on the Patriots punting instead of going for it and giving Aaron Rodgers back the ball?
It's telling you everything that you need to know about the Patriots right now. It's telling you everything about you need to know about Bill Belichick right now. They're just not the same kind of team. I mean, it's a ridiculous decision. And to that point, by the way, this is not a Patriots team, and I know we're going to talk about it later. This is not a Patriots team that's even reminiscent of something that Belichick would have done a long time ago. Granted, you had Tom Brady in the past, but now it's a different chapter, it's a different story. It's a bad decision, and I got to tell you something. I don't know if we've shown it yet, but the way that Belichick had reacted throughout that entire game tells you everything about the Pats right now.
I'm 100% there. I would like to, can we just stop trying to make the Patriots happen from a fantasy perspective? Raise your hand if you've ever been personally victimized by Bill Belichick, because I have. From a fantasy perspective, he just can't do it.
Call this number if Bill Belichick has victimized you.
That's
at
right.
some point.
I believe there's a group of that. Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Well, so the Patriots now have back-to-back 1-3 starts. That is the first time that has happened because, through 2002 to 2020, they have never gone back-to-back for 1-3. Truly mayhem over there in New England, which leads us to our next segment, because it is time for our Mayhem Moment presented by Allstate. And anytime there's a double doink, how could there not be any mayhem? The Saints versus Vikings on Sunday morning in London was a back-and-forth game. And then after we saw Will Lutz make a 60-yard field goal, they come back and they try to make a 61-yard field goal, and we had the London double doink. Daniel, not pretty for those who are the fans of the Saints, because they are now a team who is struggling and
tough.
We could have had a tie.
You really could have.
More, but we had a double doink.
I feel really bad for Will Lutz. He already crushed a 60-yarder, and then basically almost like he was this far away on another 61-yarder. That's the idea that he was that close. I realize we get to have fun with it, but like, dude was awesome in spite of not making the field goal. I know that's your job, but 61 yards, especially in London, like not playing at home, totally different setup, like. Good for him.
Aaron, was this mess up any bets for you? What are your thoughts on the double doink?
No bets for me because I wasn't betting at 9:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Surprisingly.
Hey.
But Saints covered that one. They were +4. So
stop it.
You know, at least Saints backers that were in the stadium had something.
Stop. Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson gritty through it. And that's the hard gritty that we talked about too. Like that's if you can hit that gritty, that is like a different tier of
hard mode
grittiness.
Yeah.
You know, if you're that gritty, then you can get there. But LME, the double doink, not pretty for the Saints. They have a lot of injury problems. I know you have your thoughts about this team.
Well, you know, when they come to London, they're just going to get a double doink, mate, because that was just not happening. I mean, listen, I know, soccer fans out there, the fact that they were playing at Tottenham, there was bad luck already, but I think Dobbs said it best, like, you got to be really unfortunate to just hit that twice, and it just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, for those that don't know, LME actually from London, born.
I was going to say,
born. So
that British accent came out real serious. I thought it was a joke at first.
Fun fact
Guys, I'm a real-life Paddington Bear. I'm
I love it.
I grew up in England, so they're going to get a lot there.
All right. So speaking of London accents, anybody that remembers Kirk Cousins, you like that? You remember when he did that when he was with the Commanders, is what we'll call them. They were the Washington football team at the time back in 2016. But when they were promoting the NFL in London, Kirk Cousins had this video, which we had to bring back, of him saying his famous phrase in a London accent.
Are you fond of that? Are you amenable to that? Do you look favourably upon that? Are you fond of that? Are you amenable to that? Do you look favourably?
Why, yes, I do look upon that quite favorably. In translation, you like that? And we like having my boy LME here at the desk. Let's stick on the topic of London, because you are our ESPN FC soccer expert. And take a look at this at the game yesterday when they had the Ted Lasso crew at the game. I mean, what more could you ask for? And we're 4 weeks into the regular season now. We kind of have an idea of what teams are what. And we're gonna let's do a little soccer theme here.
Let's do it, baby.
Let's relegate some teams the same way they do in the Premier League. We're gonna have LME choose 3 teams that he feels should be relegated. And would you explain relegation for us?
All right,
please?
let's do it, Scooby. All right, in the spirit of, you know, the NFL being in London at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and the fact that in the Premier League, just like you said, 3 teams at the end of the season drop to a lower league. Some of you are going, what? What is happening? So we thought we'd have some fun, Scooby. Let's do that with the NFL. Let's pick 3 teams right now who I would relegate, who I would take out of the league. So let's do it straight away.
Don't be mad at us. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually,
start it up.
No.
Who we got at number 1?
No, that's really a good point. Don't be mad at me, okay? All right, number 1, I'm going to go with the Texans.
The Texans?
Look, the numbers don't lie, Scooby, okay? Winless after week 4, 3 straight losses, pass rush is non-existent, you know, the short yardage going forward is non-existent. And listen, the only saving grace right now is a running back, right, in Dameon Pierce.
Facts.
Very good rookie player. Apart from that, it's just awful. It's been awful for Houston. And here's the thing about relegation, right, that NFL fans don't think about that much. I get it. The Texans are going through a rebuilding period. They're trying to figure things out this season. But you can't do that in a relegation philosophy. You have to do it and win right now. So for me, the Texans right now, I see no light at the end of the tunnel. They're number one to me right now.
Man, Davis Mills is really sticking his neck out there for the team, if you know what I'm saying. Some of y'all do.
Hey,
but
listen,
I do
even
agree.
Ryan Reynolds and Rob McCallum
Yeah.
of Rex NFC cannot save Houston Texans at this point, man.
It's a struggle for them, but Dameon Pierce, definitely the shining bright light for that team. Right now, he has more rushing yards than Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey, Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, and Joe Mixon. So they're looking good. All right, for the second team, who do you feel should be relegated?
Boy, my son, me old mate. I'm going to go with the Saints.
The Saints?
Yes, the Saints. And I know that, listen, off camera, I know, off camera, Scooby was mad at me because it was like, come on, they're just beginning to be bad. And I'm like, relegation, the Premier League world, they don't care about that.
It's petty.
If you're bad now, you're bad now. Listen, there are two things. Number one, sometimes to be relegated, to drop out of a league, you got to have bad fortune. And that's exactly what's happening to the Saints right now. We saw that 61 field, that hit, the double doink, right? That's already
the
terrible.
London double
but
doink.
guess what, though? When you look at all these stats as well, though, turnovers, penalties, slow starts, they've all doomed the Saints, and it continues to happen. In fact, here's a good stat for you. They've scored 3 combined points in the first quarter of those games that they just played. That's awful. It's not good football. And I get it. Injuries have been bad. I understand. But my New York Giants don't care about injuries. They keep winning. So why should the Saints have the same kind of excuse?
Yes,
the Saints are my number 2. They're going down.
Speaking of injuries, Jameis Winston, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, those are your core players on the offensive side of the ball, so it is not looking good for this year. But I did argue that the Saints, this is just the only bad year we're seeing for them.
It's true.
I'm a little bit against this, but listen, you're the pro here. Who we got at number 3? I hope you're doing this one right, because I got a team in mind.
I know you do. I'm going to give you my third one here, and I'll teach you a song that we sing as well.
Break
You're
down.
going down in the morning, down in the morning. You're going down. This, my friend, is the Washington Commanders.
Oh, the Commanders.
2 stories here.
Okay.
2 stories here, Scoob. Okay, bottom line, the Commanders, they're just not good on both sides of the ball. They're awful. This is a team with the most sacks allowed right now, 17. Penalties are also a problem. They finished with 11 penalties in the last game. That's awful. And next up, by the way, they're playing the Titans, who are looking confident, winning 2 straight. And here's the other part of this story. Every Premier League team loves a villain owner. And that, my friend, is Stan Snyder. In this game, against a division rival, against the Dallas Cowboys, what is Dan Snyder doing? Taking photos with Jerry Jones at the beginning of the game. You don't do that. You're already hated. What are you doing? The Commanders, you're going down in the morning. Down in the morning. You're going down in the morning.
All right.
The Commanders are my third, man. Who do you have?
Every time you come out here, we're singing some type of song together. I don't know what this is, but I would probably put the Bears there, because the Bears have probably been the most disappointing organization with such a diehard fan base. And when you talk about from the past until now, let me read you the starting quarterbacks that they've had since 2005.
Give it to me.
Kyle Orton, Rex Grossman, Jay Cutler, Matt Barkley, Mitch Trubisky, and now Justin Fields. The game is all about the quarterback position, and that position has been passed on and on to guys who ain't quite frankly balling. But I'm going to pass this segment on to somebody else. My boy Jason Fitz, he also has his thoughts on which teams should be relegated.
Is he going to do it in an English accent?
I hope so.
All right, guys, I think we can all agree. The best part of this relegation conversation is my beloved Raiders are not part of it thanks to, Victory Monday. Woo, need a Snickers. All right, so who does get relegated? Well, easy first answer, Texans. Out on Houston, 0-3-1. Being competitive and getting in big games doesn't keep you with the big boys, get you kicked out. You don't get to play with the big boys anymore. Houston, relegated. The next answer, also, frankly, pretty easy because the Panthers suck. I mean, on a neutral field today, I would take the Texans to beat the Panthers. Matt Rule is going to be the first head coach fired in the NFL this year. Baker Mayfield does not belong as a starting quarterback at this point. They've given the whole franchise no indication that things are about to get better. I'd relegate the Panthers, and I would just sit back and wonder when and how the Panthers are going to win their way back up. They're going to have a top pick of the draft. All right, I need one more team to come in here. I've thought a lot about this. I can't base it on the future, where I think a team's going. Got to base it on the now. And right now, I have no idea what the Giants are going to do with the quarterback position. I have no idea what their identity is. They're in a tough division. I'm relegating the Giants. Are the Jets the great football hope of New York City at this point? Good God, I can't believe I said that. Most importantly, I am going to enjoy beautiful Las Vegas and amazing Snickers because, y'all, it's Victory Monday. Bye!
Fitz team gets a win, and all of a sudden he's celebrating.
In Vegas.
Yeah, I know, right? You listen to Monday Tailgate presented by Snickers. And just as a reminder to everybody, after the show, you can watch the game on ESPN, the ESPN app. You go to ABC. So make sure you stick around with us and authenticate. I think that's the term that they use.
It is, yep.
But we got everything that you need to get ready. We got our betting analyst here, Aaron Dolan, and our fantasy football analyst, Daniel Dopp. Aaron, what is the best bet for tonight's game?
Okay, we are going Deebo Samuel over 55.5 receiving yards. Now,
Let's
this
do it.
number has
Ooh.
gone all over the map, but it's at 55.5. I still think you go over here. He's had at least 95 receiving yards in the last 3 meetings against the Rams. He's hit over this number the last 4 against the Rams. And we know that Rams secondary is depleted right now. They're ranked 23rd against the pass. I see Deebo having a big night and hitting over this number.
And the thing is, let's not forget how bad the Rams has been against the 49ers in this game. I think we have a graphic to show you that. And then, Daniel, I want to get your thoughts on, from a fantasy perspective, of what people should be looking for in this game, especially in a matchup that's been one-sided.
Wow. Yeah, the Rams' recent record at Levi Stadium. They have not done well, it does not look like, Scoob.
By any means.
All right, listen. There's a lot of things I want to talk about from a fantasy standpoint, so I'm going to keep you as our viewers here all night long. So make sure that you
only
set
keep until 8 p.m.
I'm going to keep you here until 8 p.m. to talk about all the fantasy things that we need to talk about today, all right? But the biggest one I want to talk about is what are they going to do with these running backs? Cam Akers has started to finally be the guy the last couple of weeks, but they have a lot of really tough matchups. 4 of their next 5 are against top 10 defenses against running backs when it comes to fantasy points, and they get a bye. And Darrell Henderson's not going away. As much as I've watched Cam Akers be the guy over the last 2 weeks, it makes me nervous from a fantasy perspective to trust either one of these guys based on the split and the matchups they have coming up over the next 5 weeks, Scooby. Something I'm really watching here for Monday Night Football. What are they going to look like?
Oh, man, I know I put in Darrell Henderson in a parlay real quick, and Aaron.
Oh, I love parlays.
Look at him.
They know the Ravens we got here.
Parlays for the win.
That's right.
All right,
That's
now
right.
let's parlay our choices about who's going to be winning this game. Let's
All
make
right.
some picks, starting with you. I think Aaron is up first.
All right,
got
I'm
in the
going to
game?
go 49ers.
Don't even go here.
It is Mean Girls Day.
24-21. 24-21, 49ers.
24-20, what? 21? Okay, I'm going with that.
24-21 Niners.
I'm going. All right, Daniel, who you got to win this one?
I feel like I have ESPN because I just feel a lot of fantasy points are going to be scored today.
What is?
I'm going to go with Rams 20, 49ers 18.
All right, we
You
have
guys have ESPN too? Am I the only one? No?
We got LME with his pick. Let's see what score that he had.
I'm feeling it.
All
I'm
the
feeling it.
references here. I just made. You're doing it too. All right.
got ESPN too!
Who'd you pick, LME?
Rams, baby, it's Cooper Cup time.
Okay, Cooper Cup time, 24-20. I am going to ride with the Rams in this. They are a part of my parlay.
Love it.
27-23. Staff, who do you have?
Who they taking? Oh, the 49ers.
Let's go,
24.
Staff. We know you've been on a roll,
Yeah, I
so
don't
we
like
need
that.
this.
The
We need
staff
this.
has been on a roll. It is going to be an interesting game. We can't wait for it. It's already been a wild week, wild 4 weeks of the season. Any final thoughts before we say goodbye on the game?
No, I'm just really excited to be able to watch Monday Night Football. We got,
Yeah.
and maybe I'll eat in their stickers. I'm not sure.
I'm excited for it. This is a good matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. I'm excited for it too. Thank you for watching. This is Monday Tailgate presented by Snickers. LME, appreciate you. Thank you to everyone else behind the scenes as well for helping put this show together. A lot of talented people,
many people.
who helped. Oh yeah, that's what we do here at ESPN. Now remember, you can watch the game on ESPN and the ESPN app, ESPN Plus. So make sure you tune into that. And on ABC. Thank you for watching. Y'all be safe. Good night.
Which one do you do? Are you a Joe Buck and a Troy Aikman guy? Or are you a
I've been a Peyton Manning guy.
Manning cast?
Yeah, I don't think that's tonight though, but Manning cast guys. That's been my thing lately.